Yes, welcome back to Paranormasight. I'm back and we're discovering that mermaids exist, and one got tortured and it was bad, and I didn't like reading that. It was terrible. Anyways, Descendant and Duty! The Tamatebako, a treasure required to obtain immortality. Is that it? Is that all it says? That's the sentence. Avi assumes that the descendant of Taishima, who Ikoma knows, has inherited it. He tries to scheme a way to meet them. Time to scheme! We got this. We're gonna meet the homeless lady, who's probably that person. Who might be Mare. Who knows? Hello again. Arnav Barnum's back on the scene. Allow me to summarize. As expected, Koma contacted us today, telling us we'd have to wait a little longer before we could meet the Descendant. Thus, figuring he had no intention of letting us meet her anyway, we decided to use Circe's ability to go looking for the Descendant ourselves.
Who are you exactly talking to?
I'm merely setting the scene. Really feels like it raises the stakes, no? Make it feel more like a thrilling adventure.
Sure, you got me all worked up. But I'm trying to concentrate. Could you please stop distracting me?
Oh, right. Sorry. We're doing great. Sticker. Oh, this is where we ran into my boy. The detective lady and detective man. Circe used her dowsing ability to search for the Descendant right now. What's that? Doesn't her dowsing only let us look for spiritual energy? And on top of that, doesn't she have to be familiar with the energy she's looking for? That's right, I was thinking the same thing. No, she's looking for the box's energy. However, Circe was perfectly prepared. Before parting with Ikoma yesterday, she asked him to hand the iron box to the Descendant when he paid her a visit. She said the Descendant ought to have it, since it is so deeply connected to Taishima's history. Ikoma agreed on the matter and would apparently go through with it, assuming he did hand it over. Then the iron box, with its massive amount of spiritual energy, has fallen right in the lap of our target. Now Circe has to use her dowsing to locate the box. At least that's the plan. What a plan. Surroundings. This is the town of Ijika in Toba City. The area is one of many in the area renowned for its amadivers. I saw the surroundings. I saw the sea, rock, thing, surrounding. Circe is completely focused on dowsing right now. There are several types of dowsing techniques, but it seems like she's using a pendulum. It would seem that the necklace she wears can be used for such a purpose. I was wondering if she was going to use that. The closer you get to the target, the stronger the pendulum swings. However, her dowsing range is limited. With the spiritual energy the iron box possesses, its range is probably just 2 or 3 kilometers. So we had to narrow down the target area somewhat before starting our search. So, any idea where we might start looking for the Descendant?
I think... Mr. Ikoma said something about visiting her several times before she finally agreed to talk, didn't he?
He did, which would mean that she doesn't live far away. She must live close enough for him to have paid her frequent visits.
Yes, exactly. So I think it'd be best to start searching the towns within Toba.
I see. But there are quite a few towns in the area, right?
About that. When we parted yesterday, Mr. Ikoma mentioned something else that stuck with me. When you asked to meet the Descendant, he said he'd probably drop by later anyway, since he also had to handle the matter with Miss Suma.
Ah, right, he did say that. So basically, the Descendant lived close to Suma. He would drop by while he was in the area, so likely live close to one another.
Yes, I was thinking the same. Those towns with many amadivers are a top candidate.
So that means we should probably start by searching all the towns in Toba that are home to a lot of amadivers.
That's right. We can make our way up to searching along the coast for starters.
It'd be nice if we'd at least learn the Descendant's name.
We might have a lead on that. Think of your research into the past of this place.
All right. Oh. It's like a Somikawa, I think. I gotta spell it right. Somikawa! Yeah, I'm right. Somikawa. Okay. Somikawa! That's the Taishima survivor. That's what Taishima's survivor was called. If there are any descendants, then they may still bear the same name.
That's right. It's another clue we can follow.
We flash back to me being smart. And so we ended up spending the morning traveling along the coast from one fishing town to another. This is the 4th town we've searched so far. It's about time we actually find something. All right. So, Circe, what's the situation?
Want to give it a try?
Huh? Really? It'd still work if it's me.
I'll still be holding the pendulum, but you can see for yourself if you like.
Color me intrigued. I'm in. This man is getting so much fun stuff going on.
All right, just like this. I'll hold the pendulum, direct me to move in different directions to see where it'll react.
Very well, bring it on.
Ooh.
The pendulum won't respond right away.
Oh, the pendulum won't respond right away. So the trick is to point in one direction and wait a while. Once you find the spot where it reacts the strongest, just shout that you figured it out.
Just scream. Got it. When it comes to yelling, I'm your guy. Yeah, he is. Can't wait to scream. It's probably over here. No. Up. No. Is it down? Hello? Oh. Okay, that's up here. Wasn't it? Wasn't it swinging? It's like swinging a lot. Here. In this direction. Oh, it's going really fast over there. There, right there.
Not quite. The reaction should be much stronger than that.
Oh, okay.
Takes a little time for it to react, so if you move around too fast, it might be too hard to notice.
We'll be searching this place high and low for information. Oh, okay. So that's how it works. Got it. Oh, okay. So it's got to be more intense than that. Oh.
Do you think it's working?
I found it!
You got it.
So that means it's somewhere up there.
Well, it may still be a bit further out, but at least we figured out what direction to go.
I knew it was about time we hit the right spot. All right, let's follow this thing and see where it leads us.
Right.
Right.
This is it. It's the apartment furthest back on this building's ground floor.
Got it. Hello? Anybody home?
Wow, you don't hesitate, huh?
We're here on behalf of Mr. Ikoma. No answer. I guess no one's home.
No, I can sense a presence.
Hello, we'd like to talk about the iron box.
What is it?
Oh yeah, her.
What is it?
It's our scary lady.
Ah, you too. Avi and Circe, is it? So you're the ones who found that iron box? Yes, that's right. You know, I've never talked to foreigners before. I'm so nervous I can hardly think straight.
Please, no need to be so tense, Miss Somikawa. I promise we're both harmless and cheerful.
Right.
Did you have a sticker in your dark home? Your home with zero light, apparently? Yeah. She may look calm on the surface, but I know she must be excited to peek inside a traditional Japanese home. Well, a wooden apartment like this is pretty old school. I could see why she'd be geeking out. I do love that for her. She was more willing to meet us than expected. That iron box proved more useful than I thought. Nice work, Circe. I'll treat you to more onigiri senbei later. Thanks, I think. Somikawa. So she's a descendant of the last Taishima survivor. The way she dresses makes her look older, but I'd say she's probably around my age. I thought she'd be difficult to deal with, but now that we've actually met her, I'd say it's more like she's extremely cautious, the type to never let her guard down. Can't even begin to imagine the kind of life she's led. Still, the fact that she's wearing traditional clothing is actually quite charming. I've hardly seen anyone wearing traditional clothes since coming to Japan, which was quite a bit of a shock, to be honest. Well, we don't have the internet, so the 80s must have been exciting to travel. I could still think. So she was more willing. Okay, blah, blah. I guess I'll think later.
I'm so glad we got a chance to talk with her.
Oh. I do really like her. She's cute. Blah, blah, blah. She's just like a little kid. Even though she's supposed to be 15, which still makes her a child, honestly. Talk about Miss Somikawa. Allow me to emphasize what an honor it is to meet a descendant of Taishima.
Who's to say it's even true?
I suppose your family must have lived in this town for generations.
Nah, I moved here a couple of years back.
Oh, why's that?
That's got nothing to do with the two of you.
Ah, fair enough. Then if you don't mind me asking, do you have any other family or relatives, Miss Somikawa?
Why?
Apologies. I was merely wondering if there are any other descendants.
Do know, I'm probably the only one left. That too will come to an end soon enough.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
No more than what I said.
She waiting for the destruction of everything? So, do you live here by yourself, Miss Somikawa?
That's right.
That's great.
Where exactly did you come across the iron box?
I followed this map that was in my family's possession. Supposedly, it was left behind by an onmyoji who sealed away the curse of Taishima.
A map, you say?
It led us to the iron box. It must have been resting at the bottom of Ise Bay. Since it's such a valuable artifact deeply connected to Taishima's lost history, we felt we absolutely had to tell you about it, Miss Somikawa.
Oh yeah.
If I may say so, I noticed your interest in the iron box. Could it be you already knew of its existence?
I didn't know it was a box, but I had been told something still remained of the island.
That makes sense.
Speaking of that box, I don't suppose there was something inside.
Yes, inside was a record detailing how Taishima was destroyed, along with information on the curse of the raging waves.
A record?
Oh, allow me to fill you in on the details. And that sums it up. Such a horrid man, wouldn't you say, massacring the people of Taishima because he wanted to find a mermaid that bad. The grudges left behind by the events coalesced into two separate curses, and ultimately, Taishima was destroyed along with everything else. I'm sure it must be excruciating to hear the tale of how your ancestors' home was destroyed. I believe this story should be passed down so people can learn of Taishima's true history, wouldn't you agree?
And that was all recorded in that box.
No, we're lying. We gotta talk about how we got curse power. Alright. No, we better wait before broaching this topic. If she realizes that we're after the Tama Tebako, it'll only make her more cautious. That's true.
And that was all recorded in the box.
Okay. By the way, you may consider this the curious whims of a fantasy author, but would you be able to elucidate me on some of the stories that have been passed down in your family?
Now I get it. You also came here because you want to ask about mermaids, eh?
Well, you got me. Well, alright, you got me there, it's true. But can you blame me as a fantasy author? It's in my blood. If mermaids truly do exist, then I must sate my curiosity.
I knew it. Whatever your motives, you're not getting the Tama Tebako. I'm not falling for one of Ikoma's screams.
Ah! Okay. So she knows. She knows. Did you just say that Ikoma is after the Tama Tebako?
Oh, so you didn't know? Well, he is. That's exactly why I hid it somewhere no one will ever find it.
I see. It must be very precious to you, then. Well, I'm relieved that iron box found its way to you, then.
So, was there a cursed stone inside the iron box?
A curse what?
Don't play dumb. There must have been one.
Well, so you already knew about it. There was indeed a cursed stone inside. That's what I thought.
Then how about a trade? You two want the Tama Tebako, don't you?
Oh, a trade. A trade. Huh.
Because we found... I didn't think we'd be going this far out. You certainly shook me when you said we had to take a boat all of a sudden.
To think that Tama Tebako would be hidden at sea. What an incredible plot twist. Ah, my apologies. I guess that's just the writer in me coming through. This is all too thrilling.
You sure can talk.
Oh, well, believe it or not, I'm actually holding back. I can actually go on and on at great length once I get started.
That wasn't praise. There's nowhere to run on an island. No matter where you go, someone's always near. It's always too loud, grating on the ears. The sea, though, once you get this far out, it's nice and quiet. Nothing but the sound of the waves. No talking. No irritating folk or commotion. Only fish swimming without a sound. This is fine. Stop the boat.
Oh. Oh, it's the Shikigami that our girl sent. Whoa! This is one of Circe's abilities, a Shikigami. Someone's name is written on a piece of paper. She can make that paper fly towards that person. They're great for delivering messages or tracking down someone. I was pretty spooked the first time I saw it, but I've gotten used to it. Okay, fine. I just did go whoa, but not because I was actually surprised or anything.
Something wrong?
Ah, it's nothing. Don't mind me. What if something happened to Circe? I better read the note. Let's take a look.
Ran into two suspicious people looking for Miss Somikawa. I drove them off for now, but be careful.
Seems like something happened on Circe's end. I'd better stay alert just in case, but I don't think I'll mention this to Miss Somikawa. It'll only shake her up. We're somewhere off the coast of Toba City, accompanied only by the sound of waves and the cries of seabirds. Did she really hide the Tamatebako here, in a place with no landmarks whatsoever? And if it's at the bottom of the ocean here, how are we supposed to retrieve it? Miss Somikawa used to be an ama diver. Could she be planning to go down and get it herself? She did. She looks so solemn. I wonder what's going through her mind. Not going to lie, I'm a little concerned she still hasn't told me the conditions of our trade. Will she ask me to trade her the cursed stone? Come all the way out here into the middle of the sea with Miss Somikawa's request. This boat can only carry 2 people, so I've left Circe to watch the shore. Given that Ikoma's after the Tamatebako as well, he might try to interfere if he learns of this. So Circe is keeping an eye out to make sure he doesn't try to follow us. It's reassuring to have some backup. So someone has been tailing us all along. So, will you tell me about what you want to trade for the Tamatebako now? You've got the Forsaken Fish Curse Stone with you, right? Sure do. Have a good look. The Forsaken Fish Curse Stone!
Looks like the real deal, all right.
You want to trade the stone for the Tamatebako, right? I figured as much. Well, I'm fine with those terms. Let's do it.
No, that ain't it.
Oh? That ain't it?
She wants me to use the curse. You know, I once had a sister. Her name was Mari Somikawa.
Oh, shit. Okay, are they twins? You say you had a sister. Does that mean...
Yes, she's gone. Died in an accident at sea about 5 years ago.
I see. My condolences. So there actually was another descendant.
You folks seem to be pinning your hopes on me just because I'm one of the descendants. But the one who actually inherited our duty wasn't me. It was my sister.
Your duty?
That's right, the duty of the Taishima bloodline. It has been passed down in our family for generations. Even more, our generation would be the one to handle the 400th year since the disaster. My grandpa always said that was particularly important.
So there was a duty Taishima's descendants were meant to perform after 400 years.
But I was young back then. I still had dreams of my own. I wanted no part in some annoying duty, so I ran away from home the first chance I got. I pushed all that responsibility onto my sister, but I know I should have helped her.
I see. So that's why your sister was the one who inherited that duty.
So she's riddled with guilt.
Yep.
Take time to listen to my story.
Very well, I'm listening. All right. Let's talk about that duty. This duty you mentioned. Was it to break what remains of the curse of the raging waves?
I suppose they were connected, but lifting the curse would have been a step along the road. But it wasn't the goal.
Oh, really? Then what was it?
Well, it was to return the mermaid that was left behind in Issei Bay to Ryugu. That was the real duty of the Taishima bloodline.
Return a mermaid? So it's true. There really was a mermaid stuck in Issei Bay because she couldn't return to Ryugu.
That's right. Her name was Sobae.
Oh, she's come up in our research, so she was real after all.
You see, my sister that took on the family duty, it seems like she actually met Sobae herself.
She got to meet the mermaid?
After leaving my hometown and making a living as an ama diver, I'd all but forgotten about the duty I'd left behind. I had no idea what our duty actually entailed. When I finally learned the truth, I was crushed by regret.
Regret? Why?
You know, ever since I was a little girl, I'd always been fascinated by mermaids.
Understandable.
I read The Little Mermaid so many times, the pages of the book had started to wear away. I would see them in my dreams over and over. Back then I wanted nothing more than to become a mermaid. That's what led me to become an ama diver in the first place. But the truth of the true nature of the family duty is only revealed to the one who inherits it.
I see. What bitter irony. But couldn't you meet the mermaid after you learned the truth?
My sister took pity on me and attempted to call her to meet me once in secret. My sister Mare even shared some of the things the mermaid had told her. But you know, Sobe was a cautious mermaid who never truly opened her heart to anyone but my sister. Me, on the other hand, she avoided. I was never even allowed as much as a glimpse.
Quite the bitter outcome.
Mare and the mermaid had grown close as friends. They trusted each other. They were inseparable. But she never once showed herself to anyone other than my sister, not even to a close relative like myself.
She saved Yuza, though, so she hid herself away for 400 years. Was such caution really necessary? Your sister must have been an incredible person to earn the mermaid's trust. Though I can only imagine how hard it must have been to be rejected by an existence you so deeply admired and longed to meet.
Mare moved to Kameshima to be closer to Ryugu, all for the mermaid's sake. Then one day, she got married and changed her name to Mare Minakuchi. She seemed so happy.
So she got married on Kameshima.
I was so jealous, I couldn't think straight, and ended up lashing out pretty badly. In an attempt to destroy my sister's relationship with the mermaid, I grabbed our family heirloom and...
Oh my god. You killed her. Ah, the infamous Tamatebako, yes?
Yeah, the mermaid was supposed to take it back to Ryugu, so our family had carefully kept it for centuries. And so the years went by. Then 5 years ago, I heard that Mare had died in an accident. That's why I came back to Toba. I thought that maybe this meant the duty would be passed on to me.
What? You're idiot. Of course.
But by then, our parents and all our relatives had already passed away. There was no one left who knew about our duty. There was nothing I could do. I don't know a thing. I didn't know a thing. Not where the mermaid was, nor how to call her. I'd given up. But while I was digging around, that man, Ikoma, found out I was a descendant of Taishima. You see, I was struggling to get by. I'd sold the information my sister had told me about the mermaid. Back then, I was making a living by giving folks a glimpse of the Tamatebako for a ridiculous price. That brings us to the present, I suppose.
Damn, you're kind of a crap sister. In other words, since your sister died in that accident, your family's duty was never fulfilled. And now you want us to go find the mermaid for you?
That ain't it.
Dang. You're bad at guessing, man.
I guess it must have been about 3 months ago. I was wandering the coast alone when the mermaid Sobai appeared before me.
Oh, you finally got to meet her.
She told me this. The seal on Ryugu's gateway has been lifted, so I will be returning. Your sister has done a great deal for me. Now I ask you return the Tamatebako.
Wait, what? The seal was lifted? Is that perhaps why the curse of the raging waves became active again? So what about the Tamatebako? Did you return it to the mermaid?
I was so overcome with emotion and excitement. I told her, I've hidden the relic, so if you want it back, take me to Ryugu.
Oh, what an annoying woman. You said what?
Not being able to fulfill my duty had been weighing heavy on my heart. In that moment, the pain was gone. On top of that, I figured the mermaid had come to fetch me.
Girl, you're literally... You could have actually done your duty by giving it to her, you dumb imbecile. Oh my god, she sucks.
Being able to visit the land of the mermaids, there'd be no greater happiness than that. Fucking washed out, burnt out woman. But Sobe simply told me it wasn't possible, and that she'd forfeit the relic, and with that, she was gone.
You did it. Well done. Oh, so the mermaid had already returned to Ryugu then.
Ever since then, all I felt is despair and regret. I'm completely empty inside. There's nothing left.
You're right. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but you ruined your life, and you'll probably die with this regret. Sucks for you.
My family's duty has been fulfilled. That's what I meant when I said it was all over.
It's not fulfilled. You didn't give the box. But then the Tamatebako still exists, doesn't it?
Sure does, but even with such a fancy name, in the end it's just a grimy old box. I opened it once. I was hoping there'd be some elixir of eternal youth inside or something, but it was completely empty.
Come on. I see. Even so, I'd still like to trade for it.
Are you sure? I don't see why, but whatever. It's not like anything matters anymore. I'm just sick and tired of it all.
Ah.
Yeah, just give us the stupid box.
I mean, this is your fault.
In the end, I never did figure out what that Tamatebako really was. The mermaid forfeited it just like that, so maybe it never had any meaning to begin with.
You really tried to do that to a mermaid. Something that you wish you could have seen. You fucked yourself over. What an imbecile.
So,
what do you want in return?
I want you to do whatever it takes to become a mermaid.
What? Miss Somikawa, don't tell me. You want me to use the cursed stone?
Simply returning to the sea. That's my only wish.
No, listen, there's nothing even remotely beautiful about the curse of the Forsaken Fish. All it will do is simply turn you into some twisted half-fish monster. Nothing but a grotesque imitation of a mermaid.
I know. That is fine with me. This curse is the essence of that mermaid's power. I am ready to offer up my life to her.
But
whatever you do, I'll just be drowning myself anyway. So you won't be dirtying your hands. All you have to do is use the curse. My wish will be granted, and you would be doing me a kindness. That is all there is to it.
Just hold on a minute. This is just...
The Tamatebako is hidden beneath the floorboards of my house. Please, do this for me.
Wait, no! I don't want to use a curse. Hey, I personally did not use a curse when I was playing the previous game. I don't want to use a curse now. Miss Somikawa, wait! Oh no, she's gonna drown herself. Ah, she's already gone. Will she come back up if I just wait long enough? Oh, shit. Damn it, what now? What do I do? Ah, jeez. Jeez. Should I grant her last wish? It's surely no worse than helplessly standing about as she drowns herself. Right. She was serious about this. She's been dreaming about mermaids ever since she was little. You know exactly how that feels. It may be a curse, but still, I will honor her wishes by unleashing the mermaid's power. That's how she wanted to go. I might be the only one who actually understands Miss Somikawa's feelings. If I don't act now, it'd be like denying her final hope and dream. Oh, God. Ah!
Well, okay. Azusa Somikawa.
Although she occasionally a woman living in Toba. Although she occasionally does work as an ama diver, it is unclear who she is and where she came from. She apparently showed up in Toba 5 years ago. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I already read that. As Mari Minakuchi's younger sister, Azusa was also a descendant of the sole survivor of Taishima. Following the destruction of Taishima, the Somikawa line hid themselves away, living for generations in a small village within the city of Shima. The book, The Little Mermaid, was a constant fixture in the household, a decision made so the children of the family would grow up with a familiarity with mermaids.
and Azusa read it repeatedly as she grew up, the tale fueling a fervent admiration for mermaids within her. Upon realizing that she could never be a mermaid herself, she instead decided to become an ama diver, thinking that it would at least allow her to swim freely through the sea like the beings she so admired. Thus resolved, she left her hometown behind, leaving the family duty, nothing more than a troublesome burden to Azusa, to be handled by her elder sister alone. For all intents and purposes, it appears that Azusa's wish had been granted. However, upon returning home following her parents' deaths, she was taken aback to learn that the family duty inherited by Mare was in itself deeply connected to mermaids. Forgetting how she had pushed the duty onto Mare to follow her own desires, Azusa grew deeply resentful of her sister, accusing her of keeping the mermaid to herself and asserting her right to take up the family duty. But it was too late. Mare and the mermaid had already forged an unbreakable bond that no amount of words or deeds could undo. Following Mare's death, she was finally able to meet the being that had enchanted her for so long. However, her desperate plea for the mermaid to take her back to Ryugu with her was met with staunch refusal, and the mermaid left shortly after, never to return. With her opportunity to fulfill the family duty gone, and her chance at connecting with mermaids lost, Azusa sank into despondency, spending her days in an empty haze. I'm not gonna lie, she absolutely deserved doing that because she made every decision herself and she just ruined everyone's life. Way to go, girl. Amidst this despair, the curse of the forsaken fish that appeared before her seemed to be the final chance to have her wish granted. Driven by regret over what she perceived as a life of wrong choices, absolutely, and consumed by her obsession, she threw herself into Ise Bay and surrendered herself to the curse, ultimately dying due to its effects. Her form writhing in agony brought on by her sudden transformation, bore no resemblance to the mermaid she once admired as a child. Yet it is said that the expression on her face when her body was discovered a day later in Futa Migora seemed somehow content. That sounds about right. She's question years old. One of the 3 mermaids who said to have lived near Taishima about 400 years ago. She had since returned to her home Ryugu. Yo, can you imagine your dream shows up in front of you and you fuck it up because you suck at doing the dream? Big sad. Big sad. Well, she's dead, and I guess no major loss. We managed to quietly retrieve the Tamatebako from beneath the floor in Miss Somikawa's house. All that was left to secure the dream of immortality was to obtain the mermaid flesh. Since Sobai had already returned to Ryugu, we placed our hopes in the last remaining mermaid, Nagame. But we had to act fast, otherwise Ikoma or even those Paranormal Affairs Bureau psychics would get in our way. It might have been the after effects of using the curse, but I got sick the next day and had to spend a full day bedridden at the inn. How pathetic. That's when I heard the news that 2 female divers had gone missing near Toba. The fact that I had been involved in both incidents made me feel even worse. When Circe heard the news, she just mumbled something with an unreadable expression on her face. I had no choice. There was simply no other way. Or at least that's what I kept telling myself as I struggled to get out of bed. The next day, August 7th, we set out to gather more information on Nagame and the other mermaids. We traveled to Kameshima, the island where Mare Somikawa, or rather, Mare Minakuchi, used to live. Wow. Damn. She just killed herself. Well, way to go, I guess. Oh, man. All right, arriving on Kameshima. Avi and Circe finally arrive on Kameshima on the hunt for clues that will lead them to a real mermaid. All right. Finally, after our long, arduous journey, we have arrived at the fabled island of Kameshima. Hey, are you all right? You don't look so good. You mean you're completely fine? The whole area is literally oozing cursed energy. I didn't think it was so bad before. Is it getting stronger? Can't you dispel curses? Minor ones, sure, but this is on a whole other level.
I see, so it might be best we don't stay here too long then. Let's just ask around as much as we can. When you feel like you've reached your limit, please be sure to tell me, okay?
Got it. I'll do my best.
Alright, let's start by asking the locals about mermaid legends first. I'd like to ask around to see if anybody knew Mari Minakuchi as well. That's the plan. Let's move. Is that what I said? Anyways, whatever. Oh.
Okay. Alright, I guess we're back to our detectives. Kameshima Investigation, baby. Alright, it's from our point of view now. Let's do it, baby. Yumeko and her partner learn about the threat of the curse of the raging waves encroaching upon Kameshima, and head over to warn the island. Hello, immortal woman. Or should I say princess? The Wakamura residence is just up the slope after you head through the alley. It's a bit of a maze, though. Want me to show you? Ah, so it was that way. Thank you. We should be fine by ourselves, I think. Oh my god, we have a reason for this power. Got it. Take care then. Ma'am? Something the matter? No, it's nothing. I'll tell you later.
That's what she saw.
Oh, woo! Wakamura!
Oh, let me get this straight. You're with the police. And you expect me to warn everyone on the island that a huge storm is on its way and get them ready to face it?
That's it in a nutshell. I'm so glad you understand.
This is about the curse of the raging waves? Way ahead of you there. I've been warning them for ages.
Well now, you know about the curse. Can it be that the certain sorcerer acquaintance of yours told you about it?
That's right. Unlike you phony psychics who crawl out of the woodwork every other week, my instructor's the real deal.
I don't understand how he can just call things phony but all just believe one dude. In that case, I expect this instructor also knows how the curse can be lifted.
No, hasn't got that far yet. It's not for a lack of trying. Why? You saying you know a way to break it?
Unfortunately, no. We have yet to determine the exact method for bringing it to an end. We are not without the means to do so, but first we require a map concealed in a mummified mermaid. Might you know of it?
A mummified mermaid? What are you going on about? Is this some kind of ruse? I knew there was something fishy about you. What are you really after? Go on, out with it.
What? What kind of logic is this? I assure you, we wish only to lift the curse plaguing Kameshima. Would you be prepared to assist us in our efforts? I would literally be working with them. Maybe I won't say everything, but are you not here trying to get info, you dumb man?
Ah, a likely story. Trying to pull one over the old Wakamura, are we? Better than you have tried. Well now, how's this? I'm not telling you another word. We're done here, understand? I don't have time to listen to this hogwash anyway. I've got business to attend to on the mainland. So off with you. Leave me in peace.
Well, that's a shame. I suppose there's nothing we can do. In any case, please do contact us if you learn anything that might be of use. An unsightly man. Turns out Wakamura just sucks. Not very cooperative, is he? I don't see why he's so suspicious. Actually, most of the island sucks, to be fair. He has his hackles up from the first. Perhaps he's so accustomed to dealing with rough customers that he can't believe anyone would be sincere. However, he does seem to be as interested in breaking the curse of the raging waves as we are. True, and this sorcerer of his must have some psychic ability, if they were able to perceive the curse. Wish I thought to ask their name. Oh, I think I have an idea who it might be. It's a small world, this industry. Oh, really? Mr. Shina called them a big shot who's appeared on television. And I recognized their mark on the implements in Wakamura's room. It must be Sugen Gamiodo. Gamiodo? Never heard of him. Why does this sound familiar? No, they used to make frequent appearances on occult programs, though they always hid their face on camera. Sorry, it's not ringing any bells. Well, lately they seem to be raking in a fortune as a corporate consultant for hire. Their powers have a reputation for being accurate and potent, and their popularity has grown to the point where they can essentially name their price. If they're that good, maybe we should let them take care of the Curse of the Raging Waves for us. Perhaps I should mention Gamiodo's popularity has reached such heights only very recently. Up until last year, they had a very poor reputation among others in the industry. In fact, as I recall on the list of notable psychics kept by the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, they were given the lowest rank. In other words, they were put on the same level as sham mediums riding the wave of the occult boom. I'd forgotten about that list. While their sudden rise to fame and fortune after changing up their business at the end of the last year is certainly suspicious, I am more concerned about the possibility that they are using a harmful curse to suit their needs of the highest bidder. Regardless, I'm not sure I would trust them to handle this affair on their own. You never know, maybe they just had a change of heart and started training seriously. Even so, I highly doubt they would have time in their busy schedule to venture out here and solve this case in our stead. Question years old. A mysterious sorcerer. Although said to possess exceptional supernatural abilities, they have revealed nothing of their true identity. Both their age and gender are unknown. Shigen Gamiodo was previously most known for their prominent media appearance, with numerous appearances both on television and in magazines. Wearing an unusual outfit that covered their face, they would demonstrate a variety of psychic abilities, including exorcism of possessed individuals, assessment of submitted ghost photographs, identification of guiding spirits, and conduction of telepathic readings at haunted locations. Their unique sense of presence and high rate of accuracy garnered them a sizable following, particularly among occult enthusiasts, and they were known to accept consultations from the general public as well as media outlets. However, the end of the previous year saw this once public figure suddenly withdraw from the spotlight. They now mainly operate behind closed doors, signing consulting agreements with particular companies to provide a variety of services, including management advice from a metaphysical perspective, divination of auspicious and harmful events, proposals to improve their clients' luck, and the detection and elimination of paranormal disturbances. It is rumored that they will even cast curses on key personnel at rival companies, or conversely exercise curses from targeted victims for the right price. That's crazy. The undeniable potency of their spiritual abilities has earned them immense trust from both executives of their contracted companies and other wealthy individuals, and their behind-the-scenes reputation it continues to grow. This has resulted in a sharp rise in their consulting fees, placing their services far beyond what any average individual can reasonably hope to afford. One of the companies they currently have a contract with belongs to Shinobu Wakamura, a local Kameshima magnate. Among psychics, opinion on them is more divided. Many have noted that their spiritual ability during the time they were openly active in the media was too weak to allow them to perform advanced techniques of any sort, to the extent they were considered little better than a fraud, leading to suspicions about what prompted their sudden change in course. It is now almost impossible to find footage and articles from their past media appearances, and the names of the companies with which they have consulting contracts are entirely undisclosed, obfuscating their identity, purpose, and the true extent of their power. I wonder if it's the same person that the chairwoman of the soap company was talking to in the first game. You're the girl who showed us the way earlier. Good thing I caught you. Mind if we have a word? Actually, I'd rather not. I'm afraid you don't really have a choice, because I already know that you're an 800-year immortal. What are you talking about? Don't even bother. That shocked look has already given you away. Besides, you have nothing to fear. Your secret's safe with me. Come on, let's take this somewhere more private. Ooh.
We're going private.
So, in short, when you came to, you'd been washed up on the shore of the bay. Wakamura took you in. And that's as far back as your memories go. You don't remember anything about your life before that, not even why you became an immortal. No, except I'm pretty sure I was forced to eat the mermaid's flesh by someone.
But you don't know when or why?
No. So you've only recently woken up, and you have no idea where you were or what you were doing before that? Pretty much, I get the feeling I was in a kind of deep sleep at the bottom of the sea for a few hundred years. But I've got no clue why, or how, or what led up to it. Interesting. Well, how about we go over the facts one by one, just to make sure we're on the same page. Okay. This girl, she calls herself Sato Shiranami. I wonder if she made that name up. Either way, I doubt we'll find her in civil registry, though that shouldn't affect her life too much while she's living on Kameshima.
So, her vision ability allows her to see magic things, which apparently includes stickers?
Soto has been researching the ways in which spirit sense affects the human brain, so I'm sure he must be curious what effects longevity has on the minds and psyches of 800-year-old immortals. It appears she has a lot of gaps in her memory. Having never encountered an 800-year immortal before, I must confess I'm bursting with questions. How does such a lifespan impact the structure of their brains and memories? It would be fascinating to find out.
Yes, it would.
This is the southwestern coast of the island. We've got it all to ourselves right now.
Surroundings? Nothing else? Nothing else scary? Looked at Soto.
If her readiness is to give us directions earlier as anything to go by, she seems to know the island quite well. I just hope she'll be all right. Now, I'm right in thinking you didn't eat mermaid flesh and go straight to sleep. Am I right in thinking you didn't eat mermaid's flesh and go straight to sleep? You're up and about for a few years in between, at least. I think so. What interests me is the fact that you are already familiar with the term 800-year immortal. It is not a widely known concept. You must have been in a unique position to acquire knowledge of it before you went to sleep. Yeah, I have a vague memory of being told that's what we're called. But I don't know when that happened or where, let alone who it was. Maybe I'll remember in more detail if we touch on some other topics. Guess we'll just have to go by the process of elimination, work our way down to the list till we get a hit. I wonder if Wakamura knows about her immortality. He seems to be her guardian. If he does know, and he let slip to Yamashina about it, could become a problem. It's just one thing after another. What are we to do about her?
Yeah, Wakamura sucks. I thought he was being nice at first when he took her in, but he actually is just a worthless man who can't think for himself.
Talk about Sato. Is there a reason for all these questions? Well, not to sound insensitive, I'm sure it can't be easy for you going about without any memories and all. But I was hoping you might know something that could be of use to us. Given your history, there's a chance you possess information otherwise lost to time. Maybe, but I'm not sure how much help I'll be. I remember so little. Is there a reason for all the questions? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Talk about a reason for visiting. Come to think of it, I'd say it's about time we introduced ourselves. I'll admit we don't exactly look the part, but the truth is... You're with the police. Wow, I never would have guessed that there was a paranormal affairs department. Honestly, I thought all psychics in this age were frauds. At least, that's the impression I got from watching TV. To be fair, the majority of them are, but for the record, our department is officially approved by the government. Really? Huh. Back in my time, psychics were treated as onmyoji, and even held official positions in the Bureau of Onmyo, a public institution. Oh, so you seem to know a lot about that. Were you involved somehow? Huh? Oh, I explained all that without even thinking. It just came naturally to me. Honestly, I'm just as surprised as you are. I guess that means I must have had something to do with the Bureau of Onmyo. And it seems your memories aren't lost after all. All we have to do is find a way to trigger them. The Bureau of Onmyo was one of the government's offices under the Ritsuryo system, existing from the Asuka period through the early Meiji era. Based on the practice of Onmyodo, it generally oversaw such matters as astronomical observation, the creation of calendars, and management of time systems, and the divination of auspicious or harmful events. However, it is also said that it occasionally invoked powers beyond human understanding to handle the banishment and cleansing of disasters and impurities. The Onmyoji affiliated with the Bureau were not merely diviners, they were also bureaucrats, albeit ones possessing advanced training in mathematics and knowledge of astronomy. In some eras, their influence was even great enough to sway the very course of the nation, and their presence in the imperial court was highly valued. Spiritual practitioners in the service of the state were also formally inducted as Onmyoji, operating under the banner of the Bureau. The current treatment of spiritual phenomena as non-existent largely stems from the abolishment of the Bureau of Onmyo during the Meiji Restoration, in line with Japan taking on the principles of science and technology as the new framework of the nation. Over time, the state involvement in spiritual matters gradually came to be seen as taboo. However, psychics continued their work to maintain public order behind the scenes, passing this torch down through successive generations until the establishment of a new police act in the latter half of the Showa period, whereupon their work eventually came to form the foundation of the Paranormal Affairs Bureau. We are modern Onmyoji. If I say captured hers, what's the new info? Cookie, 3 mermaids. Flesh, seeing the opportunity been waiting for. Learned he reported your... I don't... Well. The brink of death, resigned to fate. Okay. Okay, not a moment. Okay. For Survivor... Somikawa, yeah. However, the tale did not end with the sinking. Okay. However, the tale did not end with the sinking of Taishima. Sumitaka eventually made it to the seas near the island, but a fierce anger and resentment darkened the waters around it. The curse was born of these dark emotions. The curse of the raging waves had given risen to a storm that continued to rage. Oh no, I already... Oh. Sumitaka, looking for a solution, turned to Tsukima Mikado around... Okay. And a friend of Princess Hatsune. Harukage. Harukage concluded the source of the curse... Okay, Harukage is the guy who made the box, I'm sure. She volunteered. Bronze mirror. Sumikado Harukage was also able to seal the curse of the Forsaken Fish in the wooden accessory that Princess Hatsune had been wearing, turning it into stone, yeah. Sumikado ensured all records of Taishima. Words. Fate of the Mermaids. After Harukage sealed the entrance to Ryugu, the 2 remaining mermaids, Nagame and Sobae, were left unable to return home. Nagame, free-spirited by nature and yearning to explore the seas beyond Ryugu, seized the opportunity to travel the world, a journey that would span the next 400 years. Enamored with the idea of a fairy tale romance, she was said to have been enthused at the thought of finding her own tale of eternal love as she left. However, the more serious Sobae was deeply affected by Hayase's sacrifice, mourning her loss and filled with longing to return home to Ryugu. She spent her days hidden in the depths of Ise Bay, weeping bitterly. The fate of the surviving islander, Somikawa, the sole survivor of the Taishima Islanders, saw Sobae's tears and vowed to protect her, promising to do all he could to ensure her return to Ryugu one day. The treasure the mermaids entrusted to him, a tamatebako, had been passed down through generations of the Somikawa family as proof of the oath being honored by his descendants 400 years later. Well, looks like one of those descendants just was really bad at it. I still can't believe she fucked it all up. She had to do one thing and she did bad. She was a fuck up through and through, and then she died. That's a shitty life. Oh, actually, I was talking about the Brew of Onmyo. Brought back another memory. I'm pretty sure it was an Onmyoji who put me to sleep, using some kind of spell to keep me in a state between life and death. Really? So someone intentionally put you to sleep under the sea? There must have been a good reason for it. From what point are your memories clearest, would you say? Well, I guess about 3 months ago, when the spell keeping me in that state under the sea wore off. From when you woke up, then, I see. I know that look. Did you notice something? Not exactly. It simply occurred to me that if her state of, well, shall we say, suspended animation was lifted while she was in the sea depths, would she have not drowned and resurrected several times over? Oh, yeah, I did. It was hell. I woke up under the sea, unable to breathe, drowned, came back over and over again. That sucks. It was horrible. I still remember it, every last second. Jeez, I'm sorry you had to go through that. The instant I came back, I'd swim as hard as I could, trying to reach the surface. But even so, I think it took me about 3 days to reach the shore. Jesus. I lost count how many times I died down there. That sucks. Damn. This mermaid shit sucks. Then finally I came to Kameshima Bay. Mr. Wakamura found me and took me in. Wrong person to find you. And I've been living here peacefully ever since. No one's even suspected I'm immortal. You're sure about that, are you? No one else knows? Huh? Yeah, I mean, I think so. Anyhow, I guess that settles the issue of how far back your memories go. If he does know and he lets slip, yeah. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Questions? Maybe I'm not sure. La, la, la. So anyway, what are a couple of Paranormal Affairs officials doing on Kameshima? Working a case, of course. What else? Our job is to resolve incidents caused by curses and paranormal phenomena, and wherever possible, prevent them from occurring. It's up to us to solve the greatest mysteries and do whatever it takes to keep the peace, which is usually a lot. Wait, does that mean something's happened here? You don't know, huh? No, what? Sounds like we better fill you in a bit first. We're still working several cases right now, but I'd say only 2 of them are our priority. 2. Mind you, we've known about the first one for quite some time. The curse of the raging waves. We've come to lift it before it unleashes a huge storm on the southern sea of Kameshima. The curse of the raging waves? That's right. Never heard of it? No, never. That's to be expected. I imagine the islanders aren't too fond of discussing the disaster. Anyhow, the situation is ongoing. As for the other priority case... Right, you mentioned there were 2. We actually learned about this one after we arrived on the island today, but... Protocol dictates I have to deal with any 800-year immortals we find. What do you mean, deal with? It's not all that difficult to understand. To begin with, 800-year-old immortals shouldn't exist in this world. And if their existence were to become public knowledge, it would lead to an outbreak of trouble of every kind. Heck, some people are already looking to gain immortality for themselves at any cost. What? For the sake of maintaining public order, it is vital that the world remains convinced immortality is just a myth. However... Stop her, Soto. Halt! Ah. Can't you just let me go? Calm down, will you? I hadn't finished. What I was going to say, I've got no intention of doing anything with you, so don't worry. Wait, really? Surprised? But you should know better than anyone why that would be. You might be an 800-year immortal, but your time's nearly up. Ugh. Ah. These eyes never lie. Sato Shiranami, for the first time in centuries, you're standing on death's door. In a matter of a few days, you'll be gone from this world. Am I right? Yes, it's exactly as you say. I think I've only got 2 days left now. Just 2 more, huh? So you knew this was coming, but you chose to make a life for yourself on the island even so? Yeah. I've known all along, from the moment I woke up. Ah, is that why it took you 3 days to make it to the shore? I imagine knowing you had so little time left must have made it difficult to work up the strength to save yourself. Oh, it did, but my desperation to escape won out in the end. Well, now you know why I'm prepared to turn a blind eye. In just 48 hours, give or take, you'll fade away, and that'll be that. Of course, you would have to swear to keep your identity a secret to the last. But provided you can keep your word, you're free to go. I can, and I will. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. There's another matter I'll be needing your help with, if I'm to leave you be. Another matter? It's time to talk, baby. Ah, but first, before I forget. Yes? Keep our meeting today a secret, and don't let on to anyone that you know about the curse of the raging waves. Okay. People will get suspicious otherwise. Even if Wakamura tells you about it, be sure to act surprised. I figure that shouldn't be too difficult for you. You're an experienced secret keeper, after all. I don't know about that, but I'll do my best. For starters, only 2 days of her 800-year lifespan remain. She knows it, yet she's perfectly calm. Seems she's accepted her fate. If so, I suppose there's no harm in letting her go about her business as usual. I'd not take that time away from her if I can help it. That's so nice of us. 48 hours. If your lifespan is nearly at an end, that must mean you consumed the flesh of a mermaid exactly 400 years ago. 800 years ago. Of course, you already knew that, didn't you? Not that you've been forthcoming about it. Ugh, sorry, I... Don't apologize. That just proves you know how to hold your tongue, a valuable skill, when you've got a secret to keep. Mind you, this fact does put matters in a new light. Say, Soto, what events took place 100 years ago, 800 years ago? Let's see, 8 centuries ago from the present day. That would place us midway through the 1180s, when the Heian period was coming to an end. Right around when the Genpei War took place. Ah, of course, the Heikei. Exactly. Don't you think there might be a connection? The Heikei. By the way, I was wondering, how did you know I was an 800-year immortal? Oh, that. These eyes of mine have what you might call a special ability. A special ability? If I look hard enough at someone, I can tell whether they're an ordinary human or an immortal. It's like you have a different colored aura about you. Really. Not only that, but it turns out, with a bit of focus, even immortals can tell each other apart. Is that so? Wait. Not only that, turns out... Wait. Why did I say it's that so? Oh, I just meant you look the same as anyone else to me. Wait. Seta, really? Huh. You look the same as anyone else to me, I see. Ha! I'm not an immortal myself, you know. Really, I thought for sure you must be, since you seem to know so much about all this. But I got rid of my... here's the thing. We also have a... where are we? Yumeko. We have this thing here. Like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this neck thing is, but it makes me think of Kukiko, who has this thing here on her face. Wait, what? What is that? Wait. Oh, yeah, it's true. Maybe she's like a descendant of the people who got cursed. Because is that the shape of like... Kind of looks like an island on her face. And I always kind of thought about that, but never really thought too hard about it. Let me just check. Issei. Where is... Paranormal Affairs, Issei City, Mount Asama. Okay, fine. Taishima. Where... Tadamori. Oh, I forgot where the map is, but oh well. Alright. For starters, yeah. That's rough. 2 days left only for Sato. That's crazy. By the way, you wouldn't happen to be concealing anything else, would you? Huh? No, It's fine. I'll not pry, just so as long as you answer my questions. Ha, I'm not an immortal myself, you know. Really, I thought it for sure you must be, since you seem to know so much all about this. No! Let's talk about the Heike. Alright, next question. You wouldn't happen to know much about the Heike, would you? The Heike? Why do you ask? This actually pertains to one of the other cases we're working on, but we've got a reason to believe that someone out there is using the curse of the Heike to commit murder. The curse of the Heike? Did you hear about those skeletal remains that turned up near here? It was all over the news. Oh yeah, I saw that. Well, we suspect the curse of Heike might be involved. And seeing as you were alive 800 years ago, I was hoping you might know something about the Heike that could help us. If we're right in thinking that you had ties to the Bureau of Onmyoji, the timing matches up perfectly. I might have known once, but nothing's coming to me at the moment. Really, shoot. On that note, I too have noticed a potential correlation. There is a legend that tells how Taira no Tadamori was presented with the flesh of a mermaid at Betsuho. Perhaps that was the flesh Sato consumed to gain her immortality. Actually, I'm pretty familiar with that legend myself. And those so-called mermaids that were caught in Betsuho definitely weren't the kind that could make anyone immortal. Oh, is that so? If you ask me, Sato here couldn't have become immortal by eating mermaid flesh. Without the use of a relic called the Tama Tebako. Now, does that ring any bells? Huh? Wait, mermaid flesh in the Tama Tebako. Oh, have you remembered something? Yes, that's it. It was one of the Heike. Oh, shit. A man wearing a suit of armor. We were on a boat. He had the Tama Tebako. There was mermaid flesh inside it. He wanted me to eat some of it. A warrior in armor, could it be? So, sounds like you had ties to the Heike as well. And this man, he was the one who made you eat mermaid flesh? Yes, I remember now. What was his name? Do you remember that too? I think it was Tomo something. Tomoshige? That's it. The man's name was Taira no Tomoshige. Taira no Tomoshige? That was the name of one of the Taira no Yomori's sons. And Yomori himself was the son of Tadamori's official wife. So you're telling me that Tadamori's grandson forced Sato to eat mermaid flesh? What do we know about this Taira no Tomoshige anyway? Not much, aside from the fact that he was part of the clan's main lineage. History has not seen fit to record his deeds, whatever they may have been. Well, he may not have been one of the clan's famous warriors, but to think you actually knew one of the Heike. You mentioned you were in a boat. Do you recall anything else? I think we were being chased. I do not wonder at that. At the end of the Heian period, the Heike were being pursued by the full might of the Genji forces. I was struck by an arrow, and I fell into the sea and drowned. But by that time I had already become immortal. Later I must have resurrected and washed up somewhere along the coast, and I guess that's how I escaped. What about Tomoshige? Did he eat some of the mermaid flesh too? I'm not sure. I don't remember that part, but I don't think I encountered him again after that. You think that was the person on the phone? If you'll remember, ma'am, the curse echo I witnessed earlier held a famed blade, Nukimaru. Oh. Oh yeah, that's what he said. Perhaps Tomoshige inherited the blade from Yorimori and wielded it with the intent to avenge his clan. After all, future generations would surely have held a memorial service for a warrior of renown like Yorimori, setting his spirit to rest. Tomoshige, on the other hand, is unlikely to have received the same treatment. If so, his hatred may have persisted long after his death. Creating the curse of the Heike is a distinct possibility. This curse sounds terrifying. It is. I have to say, I wasn't expecting a connection here. You know, Sato, it's starting to sound like you're involved in all the incidents that have gone down in these parts over the centuries. Ugh, not by choice. Nope. Ha, I'm not immortal myself. Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, it's true. Anyway, I get the feeling this Taira no Tomoshige wasn't a very nice guy. And this curse of his sounds even nastier. Could it really still be active after all this time? It certainly looks that way. The Heike's resentment is awfully persistent, I hear. You don't think he could have held a grudge against me, do you? Who knows? That would depend on your relationship with him back then. Oh, man. However, it appears someone is actively wielding the curse of the Heike at present. Therefore, the targets of the curse would be decided by this individual, whoever they may be. Another unknown, huh? Curse of Tomoshige. Curse born from Taira no Tomoshige's feelings of malice and resentment that lingered after the fall of the Taira clan. It kills an individual who meets the conditions by cleaving them in two. Okay. Vision ability. Whoa. Okay. Figuring out the origin of the curse is all well and good, but it doesn't help us solve the case. We need to track down the person who's actually using it, or it'll keep happening. Indeed. Hope you find them soon. Thanks. Right now, we're looking for a way to lift the curse of the raging waves. But that's Soto's area of expertise, so I'll leave the explanation to him. Right. This concerns a legend passed down in my family, the Kiryu clan, for over generations. Or should I mention... I should mention, this is something I've pieced together from various sources, so it may not be entirely accurate. Right. Long ago, south of Kameshima, there was an island called Taishima. It is said that 400 years ago, it was beset by an earthquake and a tsunami in an event so catastrophic, the island sunk to the sea floor. Taishima. However, the truth of the matter is that it was invaded and laid waste to. And then, in the aftermath, the islanders' intense hatred coalesced into the curse of the raging waves, which manifested as a tremendous storm. I see. 400 years ago, so this would be towards the end of the Sengoku period, right? Correct? Yes, ma'am. The Honoji incident, in which Oda Nobunaga ended his life, took place in 1582, if you recall. Following this event, one of my ancestors, an accomplished onmyoji by the name of Harukage Tsumimikado. Oh my god, you're a descendant? You're friends. You were friends together. Sacrificed a young woman, one of the survivors of Taishima, in order to seal away the source of the curse of the raging waves. An onmyoji, Harukage Tsuchimikado. Wouldn't that make your ancestor a direct descendant of Abe no Seimei? Sounds to me like you share bloodline with the Onmyoji elite. Yes and no. While Harukuge's powers were potent, he was never affiliated with the Bureau of Onmyo. In fact, he shunned his illustrious surname early on and left the government services, preferring to uphold peace as a civilian. Ah, so he's an eccentric and an elite. Got it. Harukage's seal was not permanent, however. It would only endure for 4 centuries. Wait, you mean... Yeah, this was the last year of peace. Actually, the seal's already broken. Is that really bad? For now, the curse appears to be inert, but the storm could strike at any moment. Okay, so you need to find a way to seal the curse again, is that it? Not seal it, break it. We're here to put an end to this curse for good. Shouldn't be too difficult. It's bound to have weakened a bit after 400 years. Indeed, that seemed to have been Harukage's plan, for legend tells. That he left behind instructions detailing how the curse would be lifted after 400 years had elapsed. However, the map that would have led us to these instructions had been lost. Oh no. It seems they were once concealed inside a model of a mummified mermaid. Yet over time, this fact was forgotten, and at some point in my family's history, the object in question was sold to a foreign buyer. But if you don't have the map, then what are you gonna do? Well, we were hoping to find some clue as to the map's whereabouts here on Kameshima. But we've had no luck so far, and I reckon we've hit a dead end. I see. Now, this is something I'd like you to try and remember for me. Me? But humor me. Doesn't the story behind the curse of raging waves ring any bells? Why should it? The girl who was sacrificed in order to seal away the curse of the raging waves 4 centuries ago. Might that not have been you, Sato Shiranami? What? You have said yourself it was an Onmyoji who put you in that state of sleep slumber on the sea floor. Does it not seem highly probable that you are the sacrifice who has held back the curse for the past 400 years? Oh man, you're right, that was me. I knew it. We're having a detective time. I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. What's the matter with you? Get a hold of yourself. Is it that painful to remember? We didn't come here to ask you to sacrifice yourself again, if that's what you're worried about. All those years under the sea can't have been easy on her, you know. She wasn't really asleep. Her brain would still have been active. Moreover, there's a limit to how many memories the human brain can hold. I would estimate the maximum capacity to be about 100 years' worth. Are you saying she remembers being in that state under the sea? In a sense, I presume her memory is filled with stretches of utter darkness, her view of the sea depths. Any memories before that time have likely been pushed deep into her subconscious. Then maybe they're not gone for good. There's a chance she'll remember more. We just need to find the right trigger. Sorry, I didn't mean to freak out on you like that. Took me a sec to get over the shock. Well, seems my theory about you being the sacrifice was right on the money. But it doesn't look like you'll be able to tell us too much about the past after all. Guess not. I wish I could have been more help. But, does this mean the seal broke because I woke up? We cannot be certain of that. Perhaps it was the other way around. The seal may have broken of its own accord, releasing you from your slumber. Either way, it's not your fault. Don't go blaming yourself for any of this. Still, if I hadn't... Listen, your sacrifice kept the curse at bay for 4 whole centuries. That's half your extended lifespan. No one could ask more of you than that. The rest is up to Soto, isn't that right? Yes, but I'm counting on your help as well, ma'am. For starters, only 2 days of her 800-year... Yeah. So any chance you remembered something about the curse of the raging waves? Did that Onmyoji, Harukage Tsumi Chikado, happen to tell you how it could be lifted? I'm sorry, all that's come back to me is the fact that I was sacrificed. I don't remember the Onmyoji at all, what kind of person he was or anything. The most I can remember is that I think he said something about the curse being lifted after 400 years. That's all, huh? Well, be sure to let us know if you remember anything else that could help us break the curse. I will. Okay. No. Oh, there's something else I'd like to ask you. Be my guest. How exactly do you deal with 800-year-old immortals, 800-year immortals? Sure you want to know? Huh? Since it's not going to happen to you, there's no reason for you to think about it. I thought it would be something like taking away their immortality. Unfortunately, that's downright impossible. Because your original body is long gone, you know. But then, what else can you do? You tell her, Soto. Must I always be the one to handle these unpleasant topics? Besides, I see no point in explaining something that she already painfully familiar with. Oh, what do you mean? Among the arts we psychics wield is a spell that can place even an immortal into a state of apparent death. Once that is done, they can simply be sealed in an underground vault for the rest of their days. Wait, you mean it's the same thing that happened to me? Essentially, yes. Except that in your case, it was for the purpose of making you a sacrifice. And you woke up before your lifespan came to an end. Yikes. Mind you, neither I or Soto has ever actually done this to anyone. Though I did hear a rumor that someone was dealt with that way a few decades back. Huh. A few decades back. Of course, there have been 800-year immortals who sought ways to become immortal again in the past. But they all failed, even if they managed to track down the mermaid who gave them their immortality. It was no good. That's why more than a few mortals have ended up living out their long lives in religious seclusion. Speaking of immortals, there's something else I had to ask you. Yes. Now, I'm not certain about this, but I get the feeling that there's another 800-year immortal on Kameshima right now. What? Any idea who it might be? No, I don't have a clue. Are you sure about that? Because if there's another immortal here, I'll find them eventually, you know. Even if I have to scour the island from end to end. Does that change your answer? No, I really don't know who it could be. All right, if you say so. Guess that means I'll have to search the island, after all, as if I didn't have enough to deal with. Would it be Yusa? Anyways. Well, I'd say that about covers everything. We've talked your ear off long enough. Must be confusing, all this talk of the past. Will not trouble you any further. Right, thank you. Still, give it a bit of time. Something else might come back to you. If it does, please let us know. We'll be visiting the island again real soon, so you should have a chance. Will do. I'll be going then. Huh. So, now what? She's given us much to ponder. To think we'd encounter a living witness. I'd never have dreamt it possible. Sure, it was fascinating, but I can't say it did us much good, as far as our investigation is concerned. Besides, she's still hiding something, that one. You think so, ma'am? I do. In fact, I'd bet on it. She might even be up to something. But our primary objective here is to lift the curse of the raging waves. We don't need to start digging into anything else without good reason. On that note, do you really intend to search the island for this other 800-year immortal? Yeah, I figured we might as well look into that too, while we're here. Understood.
Oh. My boy. My apologies for the interruption, but there is an important matter I wish to discuss with you. Now then, I believe you have been privy to quite the interesting development. As Yumeko Shiki would tell it, Sato Shiranami is not the only 800-year immortal here on Kameshima. And so I would pose you a question. There is indeed one more individual on Kameshima who has made a miraculous return from the dead. You have borne witness to the death and revival of this individual a grand total of 6 times. Is it because I got myself killed repeatedly? Who is the 800-year-old? It's Yuza, isn't it? It's Yuza. Correct. The answer is Yuza Minakuchi. To think you got it in one go, you're quite the observant one. Every time Yuza ran out of oxygen while diving, he suffocated to death in the ocean depths. However, following his demise, he returned to life and was able to continue where he had left off. It would normally be highly unusual for someone to reach a diver rank of 22 on their first outing. Such a feat would be difficult indeed unless one was unburdened by the fear of failure or the fear of death. It was this knowledge of his own immortality that led him to displaying such an uncanny degree of confidence. Damn. As you may have suspected, Yuza Minakuchi became an 800-year mortal 5 years ago when he was saved by a mermaid. In truth, help arrived too late that fateful day, and it became the first time he lost his life. I wonder what light this new information will cast on events going forward. With that, please enjoy the continuation of this tale. Well, looks like I know some info. Very, very interesting, Yuza Minakuchi. Alright. It's time. Wait. Is Yuza trying to sacrifice himself? Is he trying to stop? Damn, that's crazy. Yuza, that's a wild move if that's your plan. Alright, so that was a lot of fun. We learned a lot this episode. And I guess we're returning back to Yuza. That should be interesting considering we were just beheaded. Alright, well, we're going to uncover the rest of this mystery in the next one. Bye-bye.